Hello, I'm Billy BD. My name is Michael. I'm rank 1 Mundo. I appreciate you reaching out. So, before we get into it, oh, can I not see on this? First, I want to just look at your runes. Okay, good. I personally think Second Wind is still better than Conditioning, although I understand your logic with Gwen and her lack of poke. I think Second Wind honestly doesn't really get outscaled by Conditioning that hard, since it is still scaling off missing health, and you're going to be tanking a lot of poke for your team anyway. But, it's somewhat preference-based. I'm glad you took Approach Velocity. I personally think it's a lot better than Biscuits. I understand Biscuits gets Warmogs online faster if you can't proc Grasp that often, but even then, what are you doing with like 30 more seconds of Warmogs? Maybe 1 or 2 plates. I don't really think that's worth losing Approach Velocity. It's like half a ghost whenever you land Q. It's pretty strong. Now, the other option with Gwen is you take Phase Rush. It nullifies her kill pressure and it scales better, because her main kill pressure on you is with her ult slow. But personally, I'm in your camp. Well, I'm ban Gwen at this point, but when I go against her, I just take Grasp and try to win lane. So far, don't see anything too wrong. Let's look at your lane.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. 30 seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
Okay, let's well, your bot side's not watching, you're not 5-pointing. I personally, in this situation, I would just sit under tower and ping my Graves away. If he gets invaded, he gets invaded. But it's not a big deal. Excuse me, I'm a little sick right now. Okay, first thing, I like to start lane in this bush. Then you stand right here. Either side this works. You stand here, depending on what side you're on. You kind of see Gwen do it here. She'll walk in between to hit this wave. That's free poke. And more importantly, it immediately establishes what I think is the #1 rule of Mundo and lane, which is you want to feign confidence and set boundaries with the enemy laner. Now you're trying to scale. Anyone in a decent elo understands you're trying to scale. But also, people don't have a lot of experience against a Mundo that, especially in high elo. You're Diamond 3, so I think this applies. He's already a pretty rare pick in top lane. He's mainly a jungler in high elo. And then in high elo, most Mundos are either going to be sort of playing like how Alois describes Mundo as how it should be played with like fundamentals and whatever. And then also it's like field ADC players that think the champ's OP. My point being, they play, in my opinion, way too passively, and they just stand there and try to scale. So, take this Gwen, for example. I'm actually curious if they main Gwen or if they just picked it as a counter pick. You should also be checking this before the game if they actually play Gwen or not. This is your account. This one. Caribou. Okay, it's not working. Let me check the op.gg. Excuse me. This one, I'd assume. Where's the Gwen? This game, yeah. So as you can see, they don't play Gwen. They like picked it as a counter pick to your champ. Yeah, they only have 16 games on it. So this guy also probably doesn't have that much experience against Mundo. You can tell, he uses Gwen as a counter pick. He's only got 16 games on Gwen. Okay, I guess he plays Mundo, but it still kind of applies. he's going to be playing the lane probably too aggressively at the beginning, and if you let him play the lane too aggressively, then he's not punished for it, and then you just lose a bunch of CS. But, what's my point? When you're playing Mundo, you're trying to establish boundaries, so ideally this is how the lane would go. You start in this bush, you land a Q here, then she understands if she's ever standing in a way where, you know, your Q is unobstructed from her, you're going to throw a cleaver. As long as you land like half of your cleavers, most laners will respect you. It sort of becomes a mini game of like, you know, can they dodge your cleaver and then you lose health from the health cost, or can you land it and then they're, you know. But like 9 out of 10 times, even if you're losing the mini game, it's better to play that out than just, I don't know, AFK and like passively cleaver minions. Think like this: if you're playing Gangplank and you're losing the mini game, you're bad at the barrel thing. I don't know why you'd be playing Gangplank, but let's say you're bad at the barrel thing. Being bad at the barrel thing doesn't mean you like don't place barrels and just start spamming your Q. You know what I mean? That would be a waste of the champion. So it's kind of similar. The idea with Mundo is he has a weak laning phase, but you want to... He's got a weak laning phase, but he's got very strong pokes. So you want to immediately establish boundaries with the enemy laner that if they walk up and try to harass you, then you'll poke them. But not a huge deal. Yeah, see, like... I'm not going to harp on this too much, but... Oops. Cleaver. Okay, you missed it. It's like 4, 3, 2, 1. Cleaver her. You see what I'm saying? If you do that like 3 times, you'll just start sending my minions. Especially a champ like Gwen, who is also weak early. And I mean, you got to think about Gwen in the context of her game plan, you know, as well. After the revert, Gwen's terrible in lane. Gwen is also kind of similar to you. She's just looking to scale, especially level 1. She's got a really bad level 1. What a lot of people don't know, it's not like Kale. It's not like, you know, your level 1's hidden OP, but your level 1 on Mundo is really not that bad. Especially as long as the enemy can't all-in you level 1 and kill you, you can walk up and play aggressively with cleavers. In a similar way, okay, you got to think about what Gwen wants to do in lane. It's kind of similar to Mundo, where, like, this Gwen's not really thinking about your game plan. She's thinking about her own game plan, which is why she keeps walking in front of minions to potentially get cleavered. You got to think about her. She's trying to look to stack Q, so play aggressively before she can stack Q. Yeah, and this is strange. Let's see. This is like an all-in timer, because her Q early game's high cooldown. Yeah, like, you know, I understand, especially when you don't have vision. Let's turn your vision on. I understand that it's tough to, you know, toss a cleaver if you're not confident with landing it, especially when, yeah, you don't have vision of her, you're not really, you know. But you want to be playing the mini game. You lose 50 health if you miss. If you land it, she loses like 250. And more importantly, you just want to show that you're like gonna try to punish her for being, you know, in an open line of sight. This is a weird all-in. If she EQs you, okay. Gwen also, so I'm talking about establishing boundaries. Gwen is also similar to champs like Tryndamere and Aatrox in that the other main thing you want to do with Mundo lanes where you know, you're like, it's not like a Malphite lane, you're not literally winning, is you want to feign confidence. So she E's in, you want to Q, E, do your whole combo, walk at her, unless, I mean, we're talking like 0.1 seconds, but walk towards her until either she starts walking away, then you back up. Or she like actually tries to all-in you, then you can leave. But if she actually does that, then you just walk away and she loses the trade hardcore because she's going to be walking into your wave. So, you know, here I think the trade goes better if... Alright, let's watch. Damn, make this replay. Okay, and make sure to track, you know she's 1 million from 2. Alright, so in this situation, I would walk behind her, like, not, you know, in a commitment way, but in a, just for a little bit, so she thinks that you know that you're going to win the trade, then she'll back off. Now, you know, it's a risky thing to do, because some players don't really respect it, but it's one of those benefits you have when you play a champion where there's very few high elo mains, there's very few players that aren't just playing it because they're filled. It's sort of similar to Garen. Like, a lot of people don't really understand Garen's spikes or when he's actually weak or what his lane game plan is beyond, like, I don't know, Emerald Andes who only do phase rush, because, you know, champs like Mundo, Garen, Nasus, there's really just not that many players in high elo that play it. So if you know exactly your limits, exactly when to go in and stuff like that, then people will get scared of you really quickly and then respect you, because they're not really, they're thinking, you know, they lack lane experience with it, so they're thinking, oh, am I playing the lane wrong? Am I being too aggressive? Why is this guy, like, going into me? So here I would keep trading until she proper backs off, especially because she eases into you. If a champ with a movement ability, like, dashes into you, you kind of want to tell them, you want it imprinted into their brain that if they ever dash towards you aggressively, you're going to win the trade. So you'd, you know, I think you did it there, but always cleaver. Every time they dash in, you want to cleaver. Do your little auto E combo thing, you know. Now, I will say Mundo level 2 is like one of the worst in the game. Level 3 is where you can start kind of playing the game. Mundo trades, honestly, are pretty good. They're solid. You just need W on, because your W, honestly, it's a really strong ability. It counters any form of burst, which 99% of top trades are like a short trade of burst. Knowing's going to really all in a Mundo. He's got pretty good disengage early with the cleaver slow and, you know, being somewhat tanky. So your W, when your W's up, you usually win trades. Mundo lane's weak because, well, A is all in's weak, but 2, the W cooldown's like 1 trillion seconds long. But whenever it's up, you can play aggressively. So level 1, you can be aggressive. Level 2, generally, you don't necessarily back off, but you just start, like, destroying the wave with your E. Level 3, you can start playing aggressively again. I would all in there, but, you know, you're not gonna kill her, but okay, like, if with a purge velocity, it's strong in early lane. If you land a Q, you can run up. I would run up like auto E or whatever until she's under tower. I'm gonna probably be saying all in a lot, but an all in is not necessarily like to the death. You know, you don't have to tower dive her, but you want to almost look like you're trying to kill her, which wins you the trade because she'll just walk away. If you win an all in and she doesn't have some crazy burst tool, like Gwen is a sustained damage champion besides her Q, then she'll just walk away and lose a trade. Which is to say, I think you're respecting her too much. And here, when the wave is slow pushing on Mundo, you just want to shove the wave. And then harass on her tower Q. Especially because that's a level up wave, so once you're level 3, she has to completely back off. Also, with champs like Gwen, who are very skill shot dependent, they have like one skill that they need to land or they just hard lose the trade. You kind of want to, this is more of a mid lane rule that's very commonly heard where, you know, you're playing, let's take this lane. Nah, it doesn't apply here, but. No, it doesn't apply here either, but The idea is, you want to bait the enemy ability out. So you want to like walk constantly in and out of the range of their skill shot, because you want to bait their skill shot out. People do it versus Mundo all the time. You like walk at the edge of the cleaver range to get them to use it. Then once they miss it, it's on cooldown. You can start harassing for free for a while. Gwen, you got to think about not just Q range, but the EQ range. I think she lands it here.
To pieces.
You look for a E projectile and then she does it. Like I don't necessarily think that's worth, because she's like walking up. So then if she walks up, you gotta walk back. You know, it's a like a micro kiting game. You both are trying to stay just outside of each other's ability ranges. If it helps, I think Gwen EQ range is like a little bit shorter than your cleaver range, but you can think of it as comparable. And another thing, it looks a little telegraphed if you just walk up to a minion that's already E-able, then they'll probably look to dodge it. Honestly, especially in high elo, it's very hard to land Mundo Cleaver. So your main poke is going to be through E projectiles, but you want to do it in an unexpected burst way, so you Q a minion and then immediately E it. And then you do that a couple of times. A, it's just harder to dodge because it's less predictable, but B, the enemy's going to be wary at that point because they know, okay, this guy's near the wave. Any full HP minion, he's going to burst and E it randomly at some point. Which is, you know, kind of your goal as Mundo. It's like I said, it's baiting confidence, it's setting boundaries. You want to layer different thoughts in the enemy's head so that they're kind of overwhelmed with, oh, I can't stand away from line of sight of my minions because then he'll cleaver me. Oh, but I can't stand next to my minions because then he'll, you know, throw the E projectile at me. You know, you want all these different things in their head. Eventually, once you're a little stronger, you're like 6 or 7, maybe level 11. Then they also have to start thinking, oh, well, also I have to shove the wave, though, because otherwise he's just going to walk up and take a plate and then walk away with Demolish. So you want to stack these different thoughts in the enemy's head. It'll overwhelm them, and then ultimately it'll make their own gameplay a lot worse. Like, if you just stand there, I'm not saying you are, but hypothetically, if you just stand there and cleaver minions, they have no threat of you. They think you're useless. They have all of their brain power to use on harassing you and furthering their own game plan. They can think about what macro they want to do, when to like invade the graves, for example, or something, if you just let her push. So you want her mind to be distracted with all these different factors of like, I gotta dodge this, gotta dodge that, can't let Mundo do this, you know what I mean? And yeah, no stacks. You got W up. You can play aggressively here. Just make sure to W on their burst, because it's a lot stronger in the first like 0.75 seconds or something. And now, what you can do in a lane like this, where the Gwen, I don't know, she seems to be respecting you, honestly, is you can just shove the wave and then roam. I do that sometimes when the enemy is being kind of weird, but they're also hard to poke under tower. I think a good example is like maybe Ornn is a good example, where it's hard to yeah, in Ornn, who's like filled and is kind of scared of you, where it's hard to poke under tower, because if you walk up to cleaver, they're just going to QE you and then you lose the trade really hard. But at the same time, they're kind of respecting you and letting you have like priority over the wave and hit the wave before them. Depending on the enemy jungler and the enemy mid laner, which, you know, try to track the enemy jungler in your head. It might be beneficial to roam. Now, most top laners, let's say you're playing Riven or something, and you're against like a Garen who's, you know, shit his pants against you and he's just standing on a tower. 9 out of 10 top laners will shove the wave and then proxy the next wave, and then proxy over here under tier 2. Then they have a really long timer to do whatever they want. Mundo can't really do that. His proxy's pretty bad. Maybe you could rush Tiamat for some weird build, but like regardless, you don't have an escape either. So you can really only proxy if the enemy dies or is a really bad back. You can't proxy in like defiance of them playing scared. But you still can, if you slow push them, fast push 2 waves together, have enough of a timer to maybe contest Scuttle from enemy jungler, go roam mid. This is a very snowballing mid lane, Echo versus Katarina. And Katarina really doesn't have a good escape. Her dash is targeted, so as long as you don't like gank when the wave is walking up, like if the wave's already crashed in the middle, she really doesn't have a very good escape. It's one of your options. You don't have to. I don't do it very often. Wait, let me see what happened here. Okay, Yolandi. Especially when they play like this, you have W up, you kind of want to be using W off cooldown. Or at least forcing the enemy to give you favorable times to use your W off cooldown. So your W's off cooldown, I would just start fighting her. I mean, walk towards your tower so she can't all in you. But like aggressively trade while you're walking towards your tower. So let's say she E's you here. Okay, you cleaver, E auto, walk, walk, walk. She's following you probably, so you know, auto intermittently, Q, whatever the hell. Now you watch for her Q animation, whatever. She starts her Q animation. W, immediately re-W. Her Q basically didn't do damage to you if you do that. You know, think about Mundo W sort of like Fiora parry, but for damage instead of CC. And I would walk this way. She could have killed you if she wanted. I don't know why she backed off. You want to walk towards your tower every time. Because Mundo in all-in fights early is pretty weak. He's just a poke champ. Damn. Yeah, just same principles. Now, I don't think you have to bag here. She doesn't have flash. She has ignite. Why does it sound so plain? Once she has ult, you don't have phase rush. Then in a situation like this, you'd probably have to back because she can just ult you. But really, her all-in range is kind of limited to, you know, if you walk in her EQ range, which is a shorter range than your cleaver. So you can still, you know, safely farm a cleaver and poke her if she walks in front of the wave without really fear of dying to some weird all-in she does because she can't all-in right now. Granted, she could probably tower dive you in 1-for-1 if it crashes. But, does she know where your jungler is? Oh, your jungler's dead. Okay, well. Yeah, if you fake back in this bush and then Q here, I think you're fine. Good TP, good TP. Don't TP to the tower if you win the fight. Now she super griefs by staying. You could kill her here. A lot of people do that. I don't, even in my challenger games, people do that. They just stand, like they disrespect the TP. I don't know. I think it's another thing about not really understanding Mundo. They just think he's really weak early, which he is, but he's weak in certain ways, and he's weak in a way that lanes are like 40-60, but he's not a sandbag, you know what I mean? Now, I like the freeze tech, but there are some things you gotta keep in mind. She is still higher XP than you, so if she's hit 6, she's just gonna kill you. And because there's more of her minions, it's really hard to land a cleaver unless you just stand in front of the wave, which case you just get poked out by the wave. So if she's good, she knows she can still just walk up to the wave even if she loses the all-in. And keep in mind that most of Mundo's poke involves like also hitting minions, because his main poke is E projectiles, and his, you know, even his cleaver poke is way easier if there's no enemy minions, or, you know, the enemy minions are less than yours or whatever. So I'm not, I'm not against the freeze, but especially in a matchup like Gwen, where you should probably be bullying pre-6, honestly, then I would just shove the wave and poke on her tower and force her TP out. Because if you eat the wave, it starts pushing towards her. Why does he keep doing that? Damn.
Mundo file.
Oh, why did the freeze break? Hang on.
Did you miss me? Currency commotion.
Promptly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you have to be scared here. I think I'm a little hesitant because she does have Ignite, but I think you're fine if you play aggressively here. At the very least, you have to tank the wave, because if it crashes, then she gets a free back. She doesn't have to TP. Yeah, I'd walk in front of the wave here and maybe look for an all-in. I don't know. She's disrespecting you very hard. Oh, interesting. Nice try. If you land that, it could probably be a kill. If she EQs you, you can kill her here. That's a kill, that's a kill. Let's see if you're on. Yeah, just keep in mind her Q cooldown is pretty long. It's like 8 seconds right now. Good job, that was good, that was good. What I like to do in fights like that, I like to ghost immediately and then kind of walk around them in a way that they can't just run away. Like, you're not just leaving. They can't just disengage completely. So they're going to walk probably towards you because they know that they can't disengage fully. You're way faster than the ghost on. But you still have the range advantage with Q, and you're harassing them from a range. Because unless you're significantly higher health, into most champs, you usually lose just the auto duel early. But I think it was play fine. Also, if you were close to 6, I mean, just get 6 first, but Reach that wave out. I wonder how close she was to 6. If she's not close to 6, you can take a plate here. No. Okay, you have. Okay. Okay, I wouldn't buy refillable. It's not good at Mundo. Mundo's health costs are so exaggerated, and then it's kind of balanced out by the guy having. Okay, I think in my guide I say Mundo's got really bad sustain, which he does have bad sustain early, but it's more like he has slightly above average sustain, and then in return his abilities cost like a fuck ton of health. So like a refillable potion's like you can miss like 3 cleavers and then get that back. You know what I mean? It's such a nothing that I just say the money. That being said, I do like to buy Rejuve bead when I have a random 300 gold. I know most people don't do that, but I like to buy Rejuve bead. Just make sure if you do buy Rejuve bead, you don't rush three giant belts. You just get Warmogs first. Because the 3 giant belts tech is to avoid having health regen. You still get more health by buying Warmogs. It just includes the health regen price. Okay, your level up, especially just randomly W. I don't know why she W though. It was weird. So her W is a long cooldown. Her Q gets to a short cooldown at rank 5, but at rank like 1 to 3, it's a long cooldown. You have W up, I would just run at her. She's probably gonna QE away. So I would walk up. If she immediately E's, Q. Otherwise, Q in a way that she has to dodge it by Eing sort of this way, sort of that way. You see what I'm saying? Just not in a way that should be that way, because you're still gonna win the trade even if you dodge, even if you miss your Q. Sorry, as long as you W her Q. Then once your W's on cooldown, you can play passive for 20 seconds, whatever. And when the enemy's scared of you like this, don't slow push. Just shove the wave, ignore them while taking plate, and then poke them under tower. Or, okay, alternatively, your jungler is invading here. You could help your jungler. But that requires you to shove when they're like around here walking up. Frankly, you don't know what the fuck your jungler is doing. This is dumb, but you know, you can help them regardless. If your enemy's doing some troll shit like this, I mean, you could spam ping them to back off, but, you know, I don't know if they're really going to listen to you in Diamond. It's better to... It's better for your team to, like, coordinatively do a bad decision than for you guys to kind of scatterbrained do different things because you all think the best course of action is different. I think a lot of team fights end up being lost, for example, because some people will go in thinking it's a good idea to go in. Some people will think we should stall or we should poke or we should wait for XYZ. So they just stay in there and don't go in because they think the better course is to wait. But obviously the better course is not to let two of your teammates do a 2v5 and die. You see what I'm saying? It's more of a general rule. This is less applicable. This guy's just trolling. But I would probably just shove the wave and help him. It's a good poke. Good trade. Okay, now with Gwen and honestly a lot of matchups, pre-6, honestly, you have a good amount of agency. Post-6, especially because most top laners' ults are their all-in button. Like, think of like Aatrox, Gwen, Ambessa, Renekton. Their all-in button is like ulting and then spamming their keyboard. Mundo's ult's pretty terrible at rank 1. So now you do have to play, you know, a little more respectfully, especially without phase rush. Because if you overstep now, if you do what I was saying before with the feigning confidence, you do it a little too hard, she's just going to kill you with ult. Yeah, but regardless here, you know, just always be like, almost think of it like, constantly hold down Q. I use quick cast, but constantly hold down Q and like aim it where you think they're going to dash in. So that if she does this, you can Q like immediately. You want to Q in their dash animation, or you know, their whatever they're doing to get to you. Because you want to be able to auto E when they're getting out of that animation and then walk away before they can get in a couple hits. Say here, I think you Q a little late, so she can probably get him an extra auto, so I'm going to assume. Yeah, I think if you Q auto E a little faster, she gets Wong auto, then maybe it's desperational, and I don't know why she ulted. You didn't have to ult, you just walk away. Especially with Gwen, try to dodge the ult. The ult's honestly pretty easy to dodge. It's a pretty slow ability. Okay, no, you dodged the ult. And she fucks the Q up, but okay, that's the top. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I will say, you know, well, was Grubs up? What is he doing? Okay, this guy is not Tarzan. But regardless, you know, look at the minimap and stuff. If you see that happening, I wouldn't help him. I mean, he's dead regardless, but I wouldn't fight this. And generally, it's like I was saying with the all-in button thing. Unless the Gwen's hard trolling, you still win. If they ult, just take the win that they wasted their ult and walk away. I wouldn't entertain it. Your support's still bonded. You just have to give grabs. You have a big wave. I would. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just push it. Okay, yeah, you're playing this well. This is good. But once she's scared, kind of backing off like that, that's where you just walk up and demolish.
Hallowed protection.
Because Mundo wins lane through getting first tower like 80% of his games. You know what I mean? He doesn't win lane through killing the enemy. And keep in mind, her ult's on cooldown. So it's like I was saying, you know, pre-6 you have a lot of agency, then they get their all-in button, but she doesn't have her all-in button right now, so you can harass her for, you know, however long that's up. Most champions, their ult cooldown is going to be comparable to yours. It's a decent way to measure it is like, look at your own ult cooldown, give it a little more leeway, let's say like 10 seconds. What is her? Yeah, 120 to, yeah, give it like 10 seconds, and then, assuming you ult at the same time, of course. Your Teemo's inting, I wouldn't help this. It's weird. Cut your losses, don't like entertain bad fights. Spam ping your Graves. I have to spam ping my teammates to do shit in like challenge or elo. Because this Graves, he's not invading. He's not doing dragon. You know that there's like 3 people top. I'm not saying dragon's the right play necessarily. It's probably honestly to invade, but I mean do something other than fucking scuttle crab, I don't know. Or like gank bot or something. It's important to tell your team what to do, and take leadership, but without flaming. Don't flame, don't be like passive aggressive about it, don't be a dick, just ping something, you know, ping assistance here, or ping assistance here, or like type 3 top and then ping something, you know. Don't be a dick, don't be like, what are you doing, but you know. Okay, you're not sure where Abessa is. I know you got the ward there, but she can like loop around. So I play passive here. Good cleaver. Yeah, just, you know, it's the same thing. You want to be like constantly holding your Q down, basically, so that if she ever ease in, you can immediately do it. Right here. Because otherwise it is hard to hit. Otherwise you are just she can't dodge it after, you know. You want to abuse their like lock-in animations. It's honestly part of the reason why champs like Syndra are so strong in high elo is their animations don't stop them from moving. Excuse me. All right, wait, what happened here? It's odd because you have to think confidence, you have to set boundaries, all these things I'm saying. You also still, at the end of the day, your champ's dog shit early, you know what I mean? So here, especially she ease in, then ults really early. I would just walk away during these. And in fights like these, okay, the way I think I can best explain it, in Korea right now, there's this like challenger tech where people play a Kali top, and then they just all in ignite level 1 until they get to the minion wave, and then they stop because otherwise they lose a trade. So they're literally using ignite level 1 to get a better trade off, which then forces the enemy to either TP back, you know, to not lose lane, or stay in there and lose wave after wave because they can't walk up to the wave. And my point being, you can use your summons to like get valuable things out, even if that valuable thing's got a lower cooldown than that sum. So here, I wouldn't ult, I would just ghost away, you know, do your little jukes to not get hit by ult during it, or whatever. But if I were here, I would ghost away. Now your ghost's on like 210 cooldown, 240 cooldown, okay. Her ult's on a 110 cooldown, so she gets ult up like half the time. But in that half the time, you have ult and she doesn't have ult. So you have like 110 seconds to beat the shit out of her and take plates and be annoying, and she can't really fight back. Because her all-in button's gone and you still have your runaway button. Worst thing you do is entertain it though. Like Mundo's all-ins are really weak. You have to be like significantly higher health than them, which isn't that hard because your poke's strong, but here I wouldn't entertain this. I will say, okay, generally if the enemy all-ins, they somewhat know what they're doing. So I would default, like subconsciously you want to default to immediately start running away. Just make sure to poke back while you're running away. And of course that like thing I was saying before about the you kind of want to feign confidence. Maybe you walk up for like a nanosecond. You walk up towards them. It makes them think, oh wait, maybe I messed up. It gives them like what's the word? It gives them hesitance. It makes them think maybe they messed up and they shouldn't have gone in. So planting that seed of doubt, planting that seed of doubt in their mind, it messes their all in up. They're going to be less confident. But don't like walk behind them or whatever you did here, because then you just die. Also, by the way, I would talk about comps and stuff more, because before the game, every game, I look at both comps and I think, what are the realistic win cons, and what does Mundo do for that win con? So let's look at this comp. You got Smolder, crazy strong hyper carry that's also not weak in lane, super good champ to play for your entire team to play for. You have Graves, he's a good alternate win con. If Graves gets fed, the game kind of just ends. That champ's really broken when ahead. Echo mid's kind of less so, especially in this elo, I'd say. But also, he's a self-sufficient pick. He kind of does stuff on his own. He's strong in the side lane as well. He doesn't need help. So, you should probably be playing for your bot, playing for your jungler, unless the Katarina is super aggressive to your Echo, but it doesn't look like she's playing that crazy. She's just playing, the snowball lane. Both support's kind of trolling. Sona support, just not a good pick. Teemo, into Ziggs, by the way, I don't know. That's weird. So I'll just ignore that. Now you're against the Gwen, you're against whatever. And Bess is also kind of hard to tank. These other three champs are actually just, free for Mundo later on. You can just kind of ignore them. So your goal here, sometimes it's different. Sometimes you'll have like Lux, ADC, Sona support or something. Then you have to kind of take a carry role. Which is not to say build damage. It's not, almost never the answer is to build damage. I'm very glad that you built tank this game. But it does mean you have to play for damage. You have to play to hit people and hit important people. As opposed to this, where your goal is more just to run around and how can I explain it? Your champion's the tankiest in the game. That's his greatest strength. And he has enough damage that people are kind of scared of him. You can't ignore him. He's not like a Nautilus, you know what I mean? So despite the fact he doesn't have CC, people are still scared of you. You kind of have this aura where people try to walk away from you. So in most games, if you go full tank, which you should go full tank, is way stronger. Your goal is to find creative ways to basically Rammus taunt people without actually having a Rammus taunt in your kit. Especially when you have carries like Smolder. But with that being said, you're in Diamond, so I would not do that. I'd just play to carry. I play very differently at the beginning of the season than when I've climbed to wherever I belong. Which is usually getting fed off tower gold. It's not kills. Because let's say a good game for Renekton looks like you're 3-0 or something. Good game for Mundo looks like you took tier 2 at minute 16 or something. Okay. Kind of standard stuff, it's fine. Now you do have to respect her here. She does have Rift Maker. Now you're kind of just have to play passive to get Warmogs. Standard stuff, just clear the wave without dying. Yeah, this is such a bad fight. I think your Gwen's going to be there first. It's good that you're pinging them. I would ping them and then just shove the wave. I wouldn't entertain this at all. Okay, you are. That's good. Honestly, I wouldn't have wasted the time warning, but, Cutting your losses in this aspect, by the way, means you let them lose the fight or you let them, be smart and disengage. And then you make the Gwen, her, quote-unquote consequence of helping her team there is she, loses plates. It's not necessarily, better than whatever she gains out of that. This is probably the right play for her. But it is better than you also, daintily followed her and got nothing out of it. Ignore the guy who pinged you. That guy's dumb. Okay, let's look at how you push this wave. I feel like you should do it faster. Yeah, just I mean, you know, basic stuff, but make sure your E hits everything. And make sure your W is a really strong wave clear tool. So make sure your W's hitting everything and hold it for most of the duration. Because generally, if you hold it for most of the duration, even early game, it'll get like one less auto off per minion that you need to do. Which is like 6 autos, it's a big deal. Yeah, because timing's everything. If you push that like 6 or 7 seconds faster, you can get a play for sure and walk away safely. Okay, like that. You like pretend you're okay. It's cool. Good, good. You know she has some Q stacks. Good poke. Now I wouldn't walk up here after your poke, because she has ult and you don't have phase rush, so you can't really be up the lane at this point if she has Riftmaker. And you're like half health because she can just kill you if she wants. Now, you know, it's a diamond player who doesn't play Gwen that much. She doesn't really understand her limits, but if she was better, she'd kill you. Excuse me. Standard stuff. Clear the wave without dying. You can maybe QE the wave there, but debatable. Now once, okay, her Q stacks are gone. You're not up the lane, sorry. So if she ults you here, you can just walk away without dying, it's fine. This is like prime time to poke if she stayed. This is prime time to be annoying to her. But it looks like she left, so I just shut the wave. Okay. Okay, keep in mind in a situation like this was a strange TP. Keep in mind in a situation like that. I'm very doubtful she'd kill you if you W well. This is a very strange all-in from her. Okay, you don't have TP either, but regardless you need to back because you're sitting on a lot of gold. So, alright, how do you check gold in replay? Whatever, I assume you're sitting on a lot of gold. You haven't backed for a while, so. Her all-in here, as long as it doesn't kill you, any amount of poke you do is good because she just TP. She can't back again. I'm debating on if you even should have pushed that way, but I think that's fine. I think you probably ult too early. Mundo, okay. Unless they have like an execute. You want to ult, the idea with Mundo ult, it gives you more bonus health when you're low health. And I think what people miss is the healing's really not that good. It's 20% rank 1, which is terrible, but that's awful. It's like 1 Darius Q, you see what I'm saying? Like, rank 2 it's 40%, that's not bad. It's reasonable, but it's still, for an ult, it's kind of bad. Rank 3 it's 60%, but then it's also amplified. You know how it works. So, rank 3 it's good healing. Rank 1 and 2, the main thing your ult does is it gives you bonus health, which, keep in mind, the bonus health, you don't get it as like empty max HP for your E ratio. It's like, it is, whatchamacallit, it is like full health. So let's say you get 500, you know, bonus max health from your ult, you'll have that extra 500 bonus health to lose as well. So the idea, always with Mundo ult at the very last second, where you know you don't just die. Now that does not mean ult when you're like actually about, don't ult at like 20 HP because like it's not that much bonus health. They're just gonna kill you. But that does mean you're supposed to ult the latest possible time where the outcome's still good, which usually means rank 1 unless they have an execute like 30% HP. And then this is assuming they're all letting you. You know, Gwen was kind of half-assed with this here. You're your tower. I wouldn't even ult. Rank 2 is where it gets weird. You can literally ult at like 10% HP as long as there's not an execute. Rank 3, I ult at the very last second. Rank 3, I ult at like... If I can ult at 1 HP, I'd ult at 1 HP rank 3 because your ult gives you like 3,000 bonus HP. Again, which you can lose. And, I mean, I'm not seeing you do it here necessarily, but, something you can do, I don't honestly do it that often because it requires you to have your W up, and again, I'm only aggressively trading when my W's up anyway, and it's not when they're going to all in me. But if your W's up and you're going to ult anyway, you may as well W Wait till you got a bunch of gray health, then ult. You can ult later to get maximum light out of your ult. Then W again, which gives you all your health back, so you can't die to burst. But I think it is kind of overplayed. Like your W has to be on cooldown. Your W should pretty much never be on off cooldown if you're playing a lane like Gwen.
Turret plating will soon fall.
Mundo file.
I really wish I could see how much gold you have, but 13. You got 2 plates. I'd assume you could. Well, I don't know because you bought this, but I'd assume you could buy Warmogs in the giant belt. But now, can I see how many grass stacks you have? I'm not familiar with this replay tool. But hypothetically, if you come back and buy Warmogs and you get Threshold by now, excuse me, I would just shove this wave, eat the poke she does. She doesn't have ult, she really can't all in you. Shove the wave back. Doesn't matter how low you are as long as you don't die. Now also keep in mind, Mundo ult value, his ult basically doubles rank 2 and becomes like a better than average ult rank 2. Most top laners, their ult doesn't really get better per rank. The cooldown goes down per rank. Mundo ult doesn't go down per rank. It just becomes a stronger ultimate. So it's kind of this thing where Mundo, early game, Mundo pre-6, Mundo 6, whatever the hell, you're this attrition, I guess it's kind of obscure because of Warmogs, but like at his core identity, you are this weak to all-ins, but great poking champ. Then as the game goes on, level 13, level 16, whatever the hell, you kind of switch, you flip the script because your ult's now really strong. If you ult, you're probably going to win any all-in you want to, right? But you can only do that, however so often. And late game, your poke's kind of whatever anyway, because, you're playing Mundo. Kind of gets iffy if they have, like, one enchanter. But you're level 10, so right now you're a poke champ. And just make sure, don't one for one other people's ultimates as Mundo, past rank 1. Because your ult cooldown is almost always going to be way longer. Unless you're going to die otherwise, but don't be in a situation where you die otherwise. Yeah, at this point, plates are down. This is like 2 demolishes to dead. You want top tower immediately so that you can start doing things on the map and like making the game not a coin flip for you. Ideally, you want to take top tower and then shove the wave so it's like here. And you don't have to win lane to do that. That's kind of Mundo's strength. It's really good at taking tower. So generally, you're going to be able to take tower before the enemy, even if you're losing lane. Unless the enemy jungler like hates your guts. At which point, then it goes from like, you kind of have to be top at all times to catch waves and shit, to as long as it's shoved, you get like 30-40 seconds to do whatever you want. Generally, that means going for dragon because you're a scaling pick. So you want to get dragons. Dragons are always a good objective to look for. If you have more dragons than the enemy, it's looking for soul point. If you have less dragons than the enemy, it's to give yourself more time to scale before they get soul. So here I just start shoving the wave constantly. You also need to back for Warmogs. You want Warmogs before plates are down, is the idea. And you don't have to respect this. If she's like hiding in a bush or something, she's wasting her time. She can't kill you in an all-in. She doesn't have ult. Gwen's got 0 CC out of roll, and it's a slow. You can stay. She can't kill you if she comes back. Yeah, here I would have just taken ult. Until she shows up, then... what the hell? What? Do you get vision of this? I have no idea what she's doing. That was weird. What's your vision looking like? Okay, so you're clearing the wave, then you see her. Do you clear the wave first? Which, okay, by the way, this was a weird play, but in general, the enemy's gonna roam a lot against Mundo. The bush cheese is a real thing that people do. So I understand, you know, the wariness. But also, she doesn't have ult, and regardless, she's playing Gwen, so she can't kill you at all in here. So it's like, if she is in bush, then you kind of, whatever, you lose maybe some sort of trade, or like you walk up holding Q aimed at the bush in case she's in there. So that if she dashes out, you Q auto, do your standard thing. You don't want to do this though, because then it gives her more time to do her shitty roam or something. And most of the time they're going to be roaming. People don't like bush cheese against Mundo because you can just cleaver the bush. Okay, yeah, good way for that's the normal thing. I assume he's here soon. Oh, it already happened. Okay. Well, regardless, I think you just take tower here. So you know she's here. And then I guess you gotta assume that she walks through here. She could walk like this, but that takes longer. And regardless, you don't die to her, so I would just take tower. If she shows up like this, by the time she shows up, I think tower is basically dead. If she shows up like this, you can take tower and then loop around like this, you know, your little ring around the rosy thing. It's very hard to chase Mundo because you can just cleave her slow. Yeah, always play for tower though. That's your main objective is Mundo. Early game to get your lead. Late game, it's whatever. Late game, you should be playing to kill people.
To pieces.
Okay, this is the Warmog's buy. Okay, don't upgrade your boots. Just get your Warmog threshold up. If you couldn't afford it, I mean, I doubt you could, because you could just sell it refillable. The normal thresholds, Warmogs and Giant Belts, sometimes that doesn't reach it, but it's generally dependent on how many grass stacks you have. But I mean, I think you're proccing it enough in lane. And regardless, once you're level 11, I think your bonus HP per level or whatever is enough. Right, let's look at Solon. But yeah, most champs I'd say, you know, she's trolling by staying killer. But Gwen's a tricky one because she is playing Gwen. So, and poke here is kind of meaningless because she's gonna back anyway. And you don't have Warmog threshold on yet, so I would not entertain this. Because if you think back to when you TP'd and then she trolled by staying, it's like she has to back after this anyway. Oh, sorry. She just TP'd and you're backing after this anyway. So any poke that she does to you is meaningless because you're about to back, and then any poke she does to you, you just TP'd, you're going to stay. That's real poke she just did to you. Even if it involved her ult, but then you ult too, so then it's still good for her. Keep in mind, for certain champs like Aatrox and Gwen, you really can never all into them unless they like super fuck up and they're really low. She did rush. This is a bad rush, but I think she's still playing Gwen. Okay, now you got your thing. Which, by the way, I sit on tier 1 boots until I have both Warmogs and Heartsteel. I consider Mundo's real power spike and items to be once you can finish both Warmogs and Heartsteel, because Heartsteel gives you the burst to kill people. Before that, you do a bunch of damage till they're like 30% HP, and then you have a lot of trouble killing them. Heartsteel gives you that good burst. You poke a Q, maybe you poke with one Heartsteel proc. Once Heartsteel's back up, easy kill. And I think that's more important than the movement speed for boots. Okay, just Gwen things. It's normally, yeah, you usually have to push the wave to back, but you were low.
A summoner has disconnected. A summoner has reconnected.
Okay, so you do have Warmog's threshold now, right? Yeah. Okay, she used W. At that point, you gotta leave because she might try to all-in you here. But this is tricky because you don't have tower, so she can all-in you very easily now.
Snip, snip.
Okay, she kind of respects you though.
Alright, your jungler's on this, so I would shove the wave and then just help him. Against Gwen, you want teamfight to happen. You're really weak in 1v1, but then you can possibly do more than earn a teamfight. Gwen teamfights, it's strong in like coordinated 5v5s, but in skirmishes it's not very good because she lacks CC. Yeah, you're in a pickle. You got the Warlock special, but you still can't really play aggressively because she was all on you because no tower. But also you can bait here because you got 3 people topside. Yeah, here honestly I would have like walked here, kept vision of her, then your jungler, hypothetically, if your jungler's not an NPC, which you know we've seen otherwise. Or anyone else on your team, maybe your support, but, you know. Ideally here, she's way overstaying. After the girl's gone, you walk up, like, over here, which you did, that's good. Now she either has to walk here, which is, like, certain death because you have your team coming, or she has to walk, like, past you to get to her tower. In which case, that's, like, the easiest cleaver land in the world. Which slows her, which lets Graves, at that point, he's going to be, like, here. Now, if she decides, fuck it, I'm going to all-in you, she's going to all-in you, you know, then you start running here, in which case Graves walks here. Or she continues to run away, in which case Graves comes here and then kills her. And you can take tower because you're Mundo level 12. Now, instead, like, she all-in you, and then you immediately backed off, like, here-ish, so then, you know, if Graves was here, then I think you actually just die. Let me rewatch this. Okay, Graves, let's get to when Graves can do anything. Okay, this is around the time, you know Graves is gonna come up. Okay, so she decides to go here. So I would continue walking here. You see what I'm saying? A strong part of Mundo is you can stall for a long time. He's very hard to kill. So you can do these weird plays where you walk here. Because really, if she's not done and she knows that, I mean, you know, she just saw your team got rip-trailed. Where's her jungler? Her jungler's backing, so she knows if she's in danger, she stays. Once you walk, in this situation, she can now just leave. She ults you and then walks away, and your Graves is not close enough yet. She keeps fighting you, I don't know why, but you get my point, it's the principle.
Red team's turret has been destroyed. Red team's turret has been destroyed. Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Strong. Generally, you don't want to take inhib tower pre-20 because you don't want to take inhib pre-20. The idea is inhib, the best thing inhib does for you, okay, is it pushes waves automatically so you can get objectives. Because someone has to, you know, clear the wave. But okay, Otacon's topside, I guess. When's Otacon spawn? Can you even tell? I do not like this replay button, but the general rule is you don't want to take inhib pre-20, you don't want to take, therefore, inhib or tower pre-20, because then if a wave pushes in, like the wave is going to take inhib, which is pre-20, you don't want that. Because Baron spawns at 25, and you want... The main thing inhib does is it normally gets you a free Baron. Or at least it makes it way easier to get a free Baron. Because, you know, top inhib, obviously not that useful for Baron, but top inhib lets you get bot inhib way easier, which lets you get Baron. And of course, it just wastes the enemy's time. But the issue is, you know, super minions are going to auto-push your wave, so then a bunch of your minions are going to accumulate, like, in their base, which is free gold and XP for them. Meanwhile, your team's missing whatever waves that super wave pushed. So whatever you're losing for in those waves that the super wave got, better be made up for in like a Baron or something. Otherwise, the item's actually bad to get. And I mean, yeah, it's close to 20, but 20 is like the bare minimum. Normally, you take inhib at like 23. Alright, let's see what you do. Yeah, okay, it is good to go by. You gotta like spam ping your Smolder away, being dumb.
Blue team's turret.
Okay, yeah, don't do this. Your Smolder needs to go mid from now on. Your Smolder needs to just sit mid for the rest of the game. Your ADC past laning phase should never be in a side lane, like, ever. I guess you don't have that much control over that, but, like, I would honestly, like... Because otherwise this happens and he dies. Your ADC should never be alone in the side lane. So, like, I guess... It goes kind of back to what I was saying before with, like... Better to do a bad play together than, like, you all do your own play that you think is the best. So I would just follow the Smolder here, and at least he doesn't die to this. Although, true, I don't know what he's doing. I would ping him to not do this. Because you should be bot here. The game is looking really good if you're bot here pushing this. Then they need, like, 2 to match you. Then your Smolder's going to freeze attacks mid, while your Teemo has time to do whatever Teemo support does, I guess. I don't know. But instead you're forced to, like, pivot your thing and then go top to match Gwen. Which, in general, you don't want to match people. You want people to match you. Okay, Graves just griefing. I don't know why he's mid. Okay, let's see what happened here. I'll say okay. Good fight, good fight. She killed Teemo, is that the issue?
She's still with me.
That's just your team up misplaying. No, I think it's fine. And always make an effort to dodge stuff on Mundo. Like, don't make it a hindrance. Don't go in a zigzag when you're chasing someone. But I think Gwen almost wins this because if her Q gets off, she heals again. She might win. So make sure to dodge the Gwen Q. Oops.
To pieces.
If that Q gets off, she might win. I don't know. But better safe than sorry. I would just play the dodge around. You auto, and then Mundo attack speed's not that good, so you have like 0.5,
Turret has been destroyed.
more like 0.3 seconds to like run around and make people miss shit. It's always nice to just walk behind them, disorients people. Okay. I can't tell how much gold you have, but let's see. Yeah, buying a Giant's belt is not worth the recall there, especially because they're trying to... Why is she doing... What the hell? Okay, I don't know why she's doing this. If this happens again in a future game, ping your jungler to do the dragon, and then go kill the Mbessa. I don't know what she's doing. And then once you kill Mbessa, you can maybe TP to help your Graves do dragon, but... Do you not have vision of the others? Okay.
Pick up the pace.
Okay, but now you have vision, you know. I don't know. That's weird. But okay, but my point was, I wouldn't back there. Whatever you do, it's worth more value than backing. Even if it's just... Sometimes when there's nothing on the map, I would just walk around in the enemy base, like enemy jungle, walking around here. Kind of like a human ward to get some information down. Yeah, either find out where people are or find out where they aren't. You know what I mean? If knowing's topside, that's a free setup for Otacon for your support. So really only back when you buy something substantial past the Warmog's spike. Which usually means you get your Warmog's spike, whatever the hell. Then you want to back when you buy Heartsteel. Then you kind of look for a back whenever to get your tier 2 boots maybe, but not that important. Then past that, you're really only backing to get like full items, or if literally nothing's on the map. But Otacon's the map here, so.
And okay, and once you know that she's doing this, you have vision of these 3 people, whatever. At max, 2 people are on it, and it would be the Sona and Bessa. You can stall that out for long enough. There's some orders coming. I would immediately TP to stop this. And keep in mind, Otacon lowers. If you sit in Otacon pit, you lose 50 MR and armor. It's huge. So they couldn't fight you back. They'd lose, even in a 2v1. I wonder if you can like see it. No. But yeah, the pit lowers your resistances. Okay. I like don't even have words. Like this is not. I don't know what the macro is here. It's good that you're bot. You should be on the opposite side. Do you have a ward? Can I tell? Yeah, you do. I would ward like here. Do you know if they're doing dragon? Because I'd assume if they knew you're doing Otacon, they'd trade for drag. But also, yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Why'd she back? Generally, you want to be on the opposite side of the better objective, so. If you're ahead on Mundo and your game plan goes according to plan, you're going to get like 3-man bot, and then the enemy's going to take dragon after killing you. In return, your team gets a free Otacon. Now, your death, even if you have a small bounty plus dragons, for sure worth Otacon. Otacon's usually game ending. So you did the right thing here. Get that ward down. Hit the plant always when you see it. Plant strong. Honestly, it doesn't even have to be in a way that it gets good vision for you. It just has to like delete the plant for them. Okay, so you know Kennery's there. You know 3 people. But okay, you know your team's close. Does that go TP? No, I think it's fine now. You know your team's close. Can I see how many stacks this guy's get? Okay. It's 1-to-1 drag. You don't have to give it. I think your team is. I'd slightly look for an angle here. I mean, your team's here. I feel like this is kind of rushed by them. I don't think Sonar did she. She had weird. Yeah, this is weird. She got bad vision. What is this? So like. It goes back to the feigning confidence thing. Like, if you show up, there's a pretty solid chance because they didn't get proper vision. There's a pretty solid chance they just back off because they're scared. Especially, I mean, they can't see Echo either yet. Gwen's top. Just not in a way that if they do decide to keep doing it or like call your bluff, then you don't die. Like, make sure you're not too crazy. But oh, it's actually exactly what you do. Good. Okay, and then Gwen TPs, I see. But it was a late TP. I feel you could have fought this. Where's she TP to? I feel like the fight should be over before TP even finishes. Like, if I were you, I would have immediately just ran at the Ziggs. Okay, keep in mind with Mundo, it's what I was saying before. Your best thing with Mundo is to like Rammus taunt people when you don't have a Rammus taunt in your kit, which usually means going in way before the rest of your team. And then the enemy blows their abilities on you, and you're still not dead, and then your team just kind of cleans up after that. Which here would involve your team's already here, so I would just actually beeline towards the Ziggs, no hesitation, to get them off the dragon. You don't want the dragon to be like 3k when they get off, because then at any point they're incentivized to just finish it. Especially, I don't trust this Graves. Yeah, I wouldn't walk away. I just start fucking whamming on the Ziggs. Then your team fucks up the Sona. These guys, I'd assume the Invest is smart. Regardless of what you're doing here, he just ults the Smolder, so you should be next to the Ziggs when that happens. Now the Katarina Bessa chase you for some reason. I don't know how your team doesn't kill them. I see. So the ult misses and then. Okay, then she flashes.
Ziggs walks away. Sure. Yeah, because just generally you don't want the game to be left to these weird coin flip moments where, like, sure, the Graves outplayed the Ambessa, I guess, but, like, you don't want that in the first place. If everything's a coin flip, you're going to have a 50 win rate. Yeah, and then your Echo walks everyone's way too. This was weird, I don't know. And you, okay, you had TPF, so I'm thinking maybe you just... So they take Otacon. You know Gwen's top with TP. Then your team immediately walks down for drag. You don't know where they are. Okay, do you shove this? Okay, at this point you have vision. No, I think you played the best you could. I don't think much changes. Alright, let's see what else happens. Okay. Whoa.
Touch me too easy.
Okay, so you push mid wave. So yeah, the Kettering is kind of weird. But like, is this worth it? Nothing's up, generally gonna be top, like, you gotta think about, like, you're not stopping the tower from being gone. I'm pretty sure Echo can 1v1 her pretty easily at this point. And even if he couldn't, he could hold the wave. So you gotta think, is doing this worth losing the potential waves you could have gotten from just being top? Which, by the way, this is true in general, but it's like more true with Smolder. You don't want to take mid wave as top lane or as mid lane after laning phase is over. Mid wave should be designated. Almost every mid wave should be your ADCs, unless your ADC is dead or like doing some weird play, and you need mid wave gone for a prio. Then that's fine. But like showing up to just push mid wave is generally, you don't want to do that. You want to give waves to your ADC. Which, in saying that, I'm saying that because I feel like you could have gotten more from being top here instead of pushing mid wave. Actually, okay, Smolder's dead. Yeah, you can work on the projectile thing, but it's fine. I don't know. I also wish I could see how close you are to 16. Okay, you're 14, and then you click away for 15. I don't know, because this was also a risky push. If yeah, Bez is right there. Maybe it's better to just be bot because you. Yeah, maybe it's better just be bot to push bot. I don't know. You want to accelerate yourself to 16 as fast as possible, which is usually meaning you're always consuming some sort of wave. You don't want to spend too much time, if you can avoid it, like walking around to things like this. And again, you don't want to be matching people. You want people to match you. You want the Katarina to show up to you shoving a wave instead of you like showing up to her taking the tower already. Like, that being said, maybe Ziggs takes this, but then, like, if Ambessa plays the game, I think you just die here. But it's debatable. Okay, anyway.
Hallowed protection. Haste.
Yeah, just looking for 16 ASAP. I think your Smolder just got stacks with this one. Okay, he's close. Team did a weird fight. yeah, it's sort of like, I don't know. You don't want to overdo it because if you like spam ping people, they're gonna either mute you or like flame you and be tilted. But there's some things where it's like, I mean, your bot lane, maybe you can type it in a way that's like not condescending. Just type like Gwen bot, or I'm sorry, I'm bot, Gwen MIA, don't fight, or something, or like someone reclusive stacks, don't fight. Because generally, okay, it's a double-edged sword. People don't really know how to play it against Mundo. This is why I was saying all that shit in laning phase. People also don't really know how to play with Mundo. People don't really understand what the strength of Mundo is beyond, like, they saw some Aloys clip of some guy saying push, push, and he kills someone. You know what I mean? But they don't really understand your actual game plan. I think, like, in Elo, people don't even really understand his purpose as a split pusher to tank aggro. So, you know, you have to kind of guide your team along. Because, and I will say, when I'm tilted in IQ, then I usually don't really communicate with my team that much. And my team makes some, like, disgusting, deplorable plays to me. Because I'm like, yo, clearly that was a really shitty macro decision. There's no way this is challenger elo, you see what I'm saying? But in the same way, it's like, I don't know, I don't play with, like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, I don't play with, like, Nyla ADC and then know when to all-in. Like, the Nyla ADC plays her champ, but it's a very niche champ that is, like, not played very commonly. And then it's kind of her responsibility to tell her team, like, what to do or, like, ping when to go in and stuff. So then I'll just listen to her pings. I'm not necessarily, like, doing everything she's saying, but the guidance is useful because I don't play Nyla and I don't want to, like, I have to play my own game too. I'm not, like, thinking about her, you know what I mean? So you do have to shock all to an extent. It's just the nature of playing a champ like this where it's very uncommonly, like, seriously played in high elo. Outside of jungle, of course. Okay, you don't have vision, so I kind of see what you're doing, but generally when you shove a wave into tier 2 tower, you just leave and go to the other wave. So here you back, you go to top wave. So then by the time someone pushes this wave to here, even if someone immediately shows up like Gwen, so then waves like here, you're going to be like here. And then you keep doing this mini game where, like, you're going to be basically in their base. Because if you do this again and no one stops you, or, you know, like one person is trying to match you, they're going to be sweating to keep up and push the wave they've already pushed, and they're going to take tower. But if you manage to get away with a tower like this, tier 2, you want to just go to the other lane. I personally don't like doing jungle camps on Mundo. I know it's a thing, you're supposed to, like, invade the enemy jungle when you're playing top and you're split pushing. Mundo is pretty bad at it. He's got good wave clear. You kind of have to be playing jungle or build Titanic to take camps at a reasonable pace. Otherwise, it's low-key a waste of time unless your mid laner is already in the other lane and you actually have nothing to do. But where's Echo? Is he mid? No, okay, Echo's on the same side of the map as you for some reason, so I'm just back. And this is the worst thing you could be doing is, like, watching her push and then wait for her to finish pushing. It's fine to do that if you're, like, severely behind and you fed lane, but you're gold, right? I think so. You're going to have to be that scared of her. So, worst thing you can do is watch her push the wave and then push after. If you're in a nature where you have to do that, like because of the nature of the champion, like Gwen, it's better to just, you see her, you immediately back up to the lane. And you should probably tell Echo beforehand that he's probably going to have to match the Gwen. Yeah, strange ult from her. You don't have to ult there, you just walk away through her. Once her ult's gone, she has no stick power. Beyond, like, eating you. You know what I mean? And remember, the ult for ult's not worth, because your ult's cooldown still basically 120. Her ult cooldown is now 75 seconds. That's almost half. So, and of course your ult's way more important to your champ.
Next time, run.
Get them Baron spawns. Okay, this is. Do you have TP? You don't have ult though. Okay. Now, okay. Every game I play, I think I ping that my ult's on cooldown at least like 30 times. I spam ping that shit all the time. Because truly, there's no point in going to a fight as Mundo without ult. If you show up to a fight and you didn't lose the fight, you weren't going to change the fight's outcome anyway, unless it was super, super close. At which point, like, don't play for that. Excuse me, oh my gosh. Do not play for that minute possibility that, like, the 10% of team fights where we're so close that a non-ult Mundo actually changed the outcome. It's very rare. You're better off with the, consistent route of being away from the objective and forcing someone to be near you, or, the enemy loses their base. So here, I think you maybe could have pushed this more aggressively. Okay, because as soon as your Teemo's dead, they're going to beeline for Baron. You're just hard troll. They're going to go for Baron. Gwen's going to be part of that little, expedition or whatever. And I think you have vision, right? You have vision we're walking towards. So, yeah, don't back. Immediately go for this wave. Ping that your TP's up. Also ping that your ult's down. Say, I'm not going to come. And it's sort of a cutting a loss situation again. Like, if they get Baron, so be it. You probably weren't going to change the situation. At least get a turret. You could maybe get 2 turrets. You could maybe get inhib if your team stalls long enough. But you want to be on that, like, ASAP. Okay, their fight doesn't matter. Yeah, now you're 16. So now, once you're 16, your scaling is complete. You really don't want to be splitting anymore. The idea is, maybe you go to side lane to push it for, like, macro reasons, but you're not doing it for gold anymore. You're not doing it for experience anymore. You want the side lanes shoved so that, some like Gwen can't just split push and take your base if you lose a fight or something. But while the side lanes are shoved, your number one priority is a force a 5v5. Normally, it goes back to the Dragon Pit fight here. You want to bait the enemy team into using other stuff on you. That usually means you need to look like you're out of position. So you walk in some really dumb shit way. Then you sort of look like you're trying to run away, but like half-ass it so that they don't give up. They'll use all their abilities on you. Trust me, this works even in Challenger. There's not an elo where they don't get baited by this if you do it well enough. You pop ult, you don't die because it's rank 3 ult. Your team kills them. Once you're rank 3 ult, once you're level 16, the game should be far enough along that if it's a team wipe, you would at the very least get Baron. At most, you probably get... You could end the game, probably, to be honest. But yeah, very least Baron or some inhibs, which is, obviously great for the game state. So it's just a preface that you should not be splitting anymore, now that you're 16. And make sure to cleave for all cooldowns to slow them. You really only have to cleave for the Gwen there. Katarina doesn't have CC, and like if she chases, you can just kill her. I don't know what she's doing. And they overextend anyway, if your team's close enough. Excuse me, I'm a little sick. There's a bug going around on my campus.
I'm gone.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know. I think that's just them trolling. I think you could have played that anyway. I'm thinking of maybe you ghost towards Katarina after. Okay, you ghost here. Gwen's now dead. You got the 3 people here. Yeah, I just run past her and go for the cat. Because the wave's pretty far. I don't think you can really E in time. I know what you end up doing, but if you completely ignore Gwen once your team's here to kill her, you'll probably reach her. And then 2 dead here is for sure Baron. Even if, your entire team's bot, but like, you have TP, you have ult, and what is that, probably like 30 seconds? They doing Baron? No. do have class in like 15 minutes. I know you said that this game is kind of low quality after mid game, so we'll just see what happens. Yeah, I mean, I was the best of us. I don't think there's much to say there.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay. I think you're matching wave here, but it still stands to say. You don't want to show up late to a fight as Mundo. In the same way that you want to start fights by baiting people into using their stuff on you. If you show up late, you're kind of this meat bag that doesn't do enough damage to, like, you know, kill someone fast enough. Like, you're still gonna die before you kill someone usually, especially when there's an enemy enchanter on the team. Your main benefit is you do enough damage that the enemy can't indefinitely ignore you, and they're gonna try to kill you because that's, you know, the game is you kill people, so they're gonna try to kill you, and then your team comes and cleans up after they waste their abilities on you. Now, if you show up late, your team's already dead, probably, or even if they're not dead, the enemy already used their like initial rotation of abilities on your team. That is like the main thing Mundo does, is the initial rotation of abilities, including usually ults, is used on you instead. Beyond that, again, you're just kind of a champ with no CC and like not that much damage. You're kind of like a Darius if Darius didn't have his passive, you know what I mean? Like, so either show up to a fight early, or like maybe you can TP into a close fight when you have ultimate, but never walk into a fight late. It's almost always better if a losing fight's going on, you're not there, to just continue what you're doing before, which I think you're top, just shove the wave and look for a nib. Okay, you saw 2 mid, you can keep doing what you're doing. At this point, the enemy team kind of has to be scattered. If they 5-man, your team gets like in it for free. Whoa, what the fuck? Okay, so you... Why are you so fast? Oh. So... Okay, so you're top and then Gwen matches you. Now you both have TP, so you don't want to poke her out so that if she TP, she's like half health. Ooh. You don't have to ghost, you can just walk away. Your team does that.
Okay, I see. Then you walk mid. Okay, sure. Then, okay, the Ambessa pings danger because you're mid and then she still ults in. Okay. Okay, I get, there's really not much to say beyond. I mean, it's your ult. Yeah, like that's a really, really early ult. I get it. You're probably doing the Alois thing where he says you should use it for movement speed. There's no point when you have approach velocity. And furthermore, even if you kill them here, you gotta think about it, is 2 kills worth your 20 second cooldown ult? They're dead for 50 seconds. Then they come back and they're, you know, whatever. Your champ is actually useless with that ult though. So if you ult, it needs to be like a 1-team fight. Now, it's not the worst here, you still killed 2 people, but... Especially considering I'm pretty sure you could have just ran at the Sona anyway. I personally would not have ulted. And rank 3 ult, again, you want to ult right before you would die otherwise. That's the #1 thing I see people do on Mundo that I think is a massive mistake, is they ult at like half HP. Do not do that. The one time you do that is like rank 1 ult and you're like chasing the enemy top laner. Like in laning phase.
Okay, at this point you also have a Smolder stack, so I would just perma BB near that guy. Because now the enemy's only way to not lose this is to like, and that's assassinates the Smolder. So you want to be like 20% near that guy. You don't want to be splitting anymore.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, like I said before, it's less evident here, but I wouldn't... Think about it like this. If you have to TP somewhere, you should have already been there. You should have already TP'd there like 10 seconds earlier. Now, this is not necessarily an obvious fight. I mean, Baron's up. I see what you're doing. You're like splitting opposite of Baron. But if your team trolls, your team trolls. I wouldn't TP to cut your losses. I just... You know, if you see your team dying, I would not TP that. I would just push bot. Enemy got Baron. Oh well, your team trolled. Go mid. Make sure you don't lose the game. Because if you TP late and your team does actually just all die, then you die and then the game's over. They just end the game. I just want to see the ult timing again. Raw corporate Mundo. Let's see. Yeah, like... Actually, wait, hang on. Walk up. Just keep in mind, I mean, I would have just ran in. You want to get these abilities out. You want them to focus you. You truly, you went full tank. It's really hard to die. Okay, maybe I would have gone Spirit Visage. Normally, I don't like Spirit Visage without an Enchanter, but I get what you're doing. You're stacking MR because their comp is weird. But Force of Nature, it's a pretty bad item nowadays. Strong into like a 5 AP comp, because then into 5 AP you're not building Unending. But if you have Unending and you're against heavy AP, Spirit Visage normally a good buy. And Gwen is mostly true damage anyway to Mundo. Yeah, just remember ult very last second. They don't really have an execute either. You can wait till you're like 1000 HP. Because you know it's missing health. You're almost doubling. If you let's say you ult at a half health, now you ult at like 5% health. You're like doubling what your ult does beyond the healing. And again, the healing is not the main point. The main point is it gives you a fuck ton of max HP. Okay, I did see you win this game eventually, but at this point it's anyone's game now. Crazy ult. Yeah, I don't think you have to ult there. Just keep in mind, like champs like Gwen, they use their ult. If they didn't kill you yet, you can just walk away. Now that's why Gwen used to go Iceborne Gauntlet, but she went full AP.
She's still with me.
Did you ult?
Quick, quick. Nino, out of my way.
Yeah, and the ghost is just, I don't know, it's unnecessary. And keep in mind, sometimes it's actually better to die late game than ult. Because, you know, I'm not saying kill yourself instead of ult, but like, especially if you're gonna die anyway. But even so, sometimes, you know, it's better to die than to ult to have a chance of living. Because your ult cooldown's really, really long, and people will abuse that a lot harder than your like 50-second death timer. Like, I can't tell you how many games I had a bad ult where I think I ulted a little too early because I was nervous. And then the enemy just backed off after I ulted, and then... Or, like, my ult didn't do enough, and then the game's just over because for the next 100 seconds I don't do anything. And when I say don't do anything, it's because you can't do the bait thing I was talking about earlier, because you just die. Obviously, you can still, like, split push and stuff, but Mundo's real strength late game is in baiting people to use their ults on you. Yeah, again, I don't know if you got ult there. I don't want to harp on it too much. I mean, once you hear it, it's obvious, but it really, I want to drill that point home that you can ult super late. Okay, enemy team got Elder, sure.
Too easy. It has been destroyed.
Okay, I would not have done that, but okay. It worked, I guess. Okay, once the enemy is Elder, you kind of want to just turtle and base till it's gone if Baron's not up. Now, if Baron was up, it'd be a different story. You kind of have to, like... You'd have to, like, bodyguard your Teemo while he gets vision for Baron, and then... You can't play for Baron, but you have to make sure they can't play for Baron. Obviously, in a 5v5, when they have Elder, you just lose. Maybe you win a 5v5 when they have Elder, if also they're trying to take Baron at the same time. Especially against a Smolder. But Baron's not up, so this is like really unnecessarily risky. If Smolder dies here, you probably lose the game. In fact, I'm really surprised he didn't die there. It's kind of crazy. No, he dies. Okay, but Echo's making this weird. Okay, sure. Sure. Okay, I think Gwen suicide for wave there, if I'm not mistaken. You got like 2 casters. Like, fuck the Gwen, man. Just end the game. At this point, you don't have a wave. The tower's not gonna die. And, well, it's only in Bessa though. Just end the game. Well, let's see what you do. Yeah, okay, don't back off here. It's Ambessa, Sona, Zigsoon versus late game Smolder. I guess I don't really know what Teemo does, but so I mean, your Mundo, you got Warmogs. They like 1 shitty tower. You had your I'm just in the game, man. That's a big thing I see with. I mean, Diamond's not low elo, but with lower elo, people underestimate how easy it is to end the game. You could have ended there. Even if your team was defiant, like, they would have followed you if you... If they're spamming in danger, they're still going to follow you if you do that. Even if they don't do that, like, you died to get their Nexus open, I think that's still worth it. But never... You're playing Mundo, you're not going to do that much damage to them in this little thing. Just make sure you're taking towers for your team. Then your team can go look to kill them, whatever the hell. You just hit tower. This tower should have gone. See that one.
Here's a mushroom.
Also, I think you're playing too passively because, again, you really want the enemy to like focus you. Think of it like, how do you explain this? Like, take a champ with a bunch of CC, like Ornn or Malphite or whatever. Scion, you get the idea. Zac. They have a bunch of CC. They go in and they disable the enemy team until their CC runs out. Okay, that's their job, I guess. Once their CC runs out, they're kind of useless. So they're gated by 2 things. How long does their CC last? How long does how long can they stay alive until they die? Whatever, while being targeted. Mundo's interesting because he's technically a juggernaut or whatever, but you still kind of play like a tank. You still play like the Zac would. You still play like the Scion would, because you're running in and you're disabling the team for X amount of time. Now Mundo doesn't have CC to actually disable them. What he can do is just run in like there's no tomorrow and make the enemy hit him by being really dumb. And to offset that, because it sounds worse than CC, it is worse than CC. In return, he's not gated by the second condition that they are, which is how long can you survive till you die. Mundo is not gonna die at all. That unless they have multiple tank killers, dedicated tank killers. Gwen kind of fits the bill, but I'm talking like Kog'Maw or a super fed Vayne with a Lulu. You know what I mean? unless they don't have that. Sorry, unless they have that. I mean, you can just play to your content. You may your ult, if you ult properly late with a good W, your ult may as well be a 10-second KO ult. You see what I'm saying? So you want to just run in, make the enemy use their stuff on you. The worst thing you can do is play Mundo like any other champion would play here, which is to say, like, you wait for the enemy to waste an ability. You want them to waste them on you. Because the worst situation is Mundo is the rest of your team's dead, and no one on their team's dead. Then you're just fucked. Because you truly are like a sponge that can kind of taunt people. Okay, I do have class very soon, so let's. I'll just make sure nothing too weird happens. Getting spam pinged, love diamond. It's fun to look back at 9. You know, I think it's a nice elo to learn in. I think everyone's playing to a decent level, but at the same time, definitely ways to improve. Oh, it feels satisfying to improve. It's nice to improve. I think. You know, again, just gonna drill it home. Should ult. Whoa! What the fuck? Whoa! 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 What? Okay, you can't. Wait.
Red team's turret has been destroyed. Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay, so their base is messed up. Is one person in their base? Like, is all of them there?
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay. Good play. You made the right play. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're done. Good play. But I hope you. I'm sure you do know this because I mean you know you said it was a shit show, but like don't expect this every game. This was the enemy making a massive blunder. The game should have ended like 10 minutes ago when you were in their base the first time. But yeah, I hope this all helped you. Thank you for the opportunity, and you know don't hesitate to reach out with any more questions or if you want me to review anything else. Goodbye.